I go by Hybrid the Rapper, Hybrid. That's my stage name. I'm a mix between all sorts of different styles, and that's where I get the term hybrid. And then I also sing and rap. I hail from a little small capital known as Frankfort, which is in Kentucky. It's a small town of about 30,000 people in between
First time
Lexington
we
and
met,
Louisville.
when we first started working together, I had a competition, a collab competition years ago, and he had ended up winning it, and that's how we first started working together. And when I first heard him, I was like, man, how come I never heard of him before? And I was very, very, very pleased with what he did and how he sounded. Everything that and ever since then, I've been a fan of his. I like the music that he does and what he puts out and what he stands for. Really good dude. He's always showing love, which is very rare in the hip hop scene or music period. It's not too many people show love like he does, and to me that's very, like, I don't understand why it's different. Why it's not all love. It almost seems like everybody's in competition with
Hybrid
each
is
other.
just something that doesn't come along very often. You don't see artists like Hybrid very often. I'm talking about like what you saw on the MTV Raps, what you saw in Rap City, what you saw locally in Michigan or Kentucky. You just didn't see anyone like Hybrid in those kinds of things. There's local shows, you go to Detroit and see some of the professional artists perform. Hybrid has something different, man. It's just his rapid fire is on. And the man is
He's a beast of his own. He's definitely on a whole other level from a lot of people, and if anybody ever deserves it, it's him. He's been at it for a long time. Sorry. He's been at it for a long time, and he's just one of the hardest. He's the actually hardest working guy in music that I know personally. He really is.
Pushing himself. I just want him to, like, it's hard to take that leap of faith and just go. And I want him to be able to do that, know that he's good enough. And I think we all second guess ourselves. You know, you get to that point where you're like, I'm good enough here, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be good enough when I get there.
And he's very passionate about the music that he does. And it goes a long way. I've seen a lot of people come at him, like, in a negative way, hating ways. Being from a small town, I'm from Shepard, and it's a small town too, so I definitely can relate to people hating on you, especially if you do this.
How do you want your fans to feel when listening to your music?
That's a good question because it varies. Sometimes, like at a show, I want people to almost be freaked out. I want them to be shocked. Sometimes I want to be like, "Wow, what did I just witness?" I mean, that guy really laid it on the line. And then sometimes I just want people to smile and laugh and have fun. I want them to be part of the environment instead of trying to freak them out. Sometimes I want people to learn. Sometimes I want people to just feel me and hear me. So it always varies, and I think that's one reason why my music is constantly changing, or it constantly seems different accordingly to different projects, is because I haven't quite made up my mind on what exactly I want the listener to do. I want them to do all sorts of things. I want them to be on a roller coaster
That's
of
how
emotions.
Hybrid is. Like, he's always willing to give and to go that extra mile to make sure that he puts his stamp on things.
Keeps doing what he does. Like, as an artist, sort of, maybe even more generally, why do you continue to create art?
I mean, I don't know how many artists people hang out with, but when you hang out with artists long enough, you realize that they're kind of fucked up. Like, they kind of have some shit going on. We all have some problems, and art is some of the best therapy you can have.
I've noticed myself, there have been times where I have been not by decision, but just at a time where I couldn't do music. the way I wanted to. And it hurts, it stings, it sucks. Because if that's a part of you the way it is, you don't feel like you are making the most of yourself, or you are even being who you are when you're not able to create like that. So it's probably one of the worst feelings ever.
What are kind of like your thoughts on that? Like, why do they do what they do? You
I
know?
think that as somebody who loves to sing and perform, it's just part of you. You can't not do it. And even if you just have that little bit of time where you're stuck, you're missing something. Something is missing inside of you. I think that's a lot of his too. It's just he loves it so much.
And just nothing could knock him off his pivot. He stayed on his pivot, and I respected it about him. And of course, you know, that I definitely support him too.
As an artist, I try to embody all my different influences and archetypes, and I try to bring in all sorts of different styles to where I'm diverse and far from one-dimensional. I try to draw from all my life experiences like any other artist, ups and downs, and friendship and dreams and goals and spirituality and all those different things, and I try to always experiment musically. So as far as the actual music and the beats, as my canvas, I try to dabble in a little bit of everything because I'm just an absolute music lover, and I don't want to limit myself to one specific genre or one specific subgenre of hip-hop. So I'm pretty much always experimenting and pushing the envelope and trying to surprise myself as an artist.
Outside of the box, he brings these ideas to the table and on track to where it's like you never would have thought of that. You're like, damn, I never would have thought of that. That's dope. Let's roll with that. And it makes the song, it just brings the song new life and just a whole new energy to it. And that's why I love working with Hybrid.
You know, big shows for a long time. You see it on the shows that it's been on, and you see a lot of MCs come and go. You see big names come and go, and part of the reason why they come and go is because they either run out of content or their style gets old and stale. A Hybrid's pulling off of many styles. That's why his name is Hybrid. But the point is that he is drawing off of the best possible styles that he can, and in particular, the ones that he's mastered is just something that's going to have staying power. I mean, that is something that's going to wow people for a very long time.
Have a lot of fun. There's going to be chemistry between the way he and I think together and vibe out together. And then we just write. We just write to the beat. And then it's typically, I mean, we've touched on some deep things before, but at the same time, we know how to have fun, and we know how to be playful and be lighthearted and bring a good vibe to the music.
Is there any just kind of anything you wanted to say or any final thoughts? Or?
I love him. I hope he keeps pushing himself to do better because he's extremely talented and he has a good heart. So I wish him the best. Pray the best for him. Any way I can help. So I think that's it.
And having that mentality of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to succeed in doing this, I'm going to get this done.
Why do you want a career in music? Why not something else?
I've just always been such a music fan that and a music lover, and fell in love with hip hop, and music's always been in my blood and in my past, and it's just part of who I am. I mean, I don't think I really had much of a choice. The main choice was to try to take it serious one day, which I did a long time ago. I made that decision, and to pursue it seriously and to try every facet of it and to try to figure out how to generate money and how to build a fan base and how to promote yourself and all those things. It took a conscious effort to do it, but as far as making music and being inspired to do it, that was always there.
I just don't know what to do. Is anybody out there? I don't really know what the crowd gon' say. All I really know is I'm proud today.
found my way with thorns on my crown and a frown on my face. Hey, now I'm pushed down on the brakes in the town that I made. So it's sound what I found to imitate. Weight from the ground I was made with a mixed in spirit on the ground like a slave. Deep in my mind can I reap what I sow, and I know that you owe me. I'm hoping you show me real soon. The coroner's coming, the funeral's booked. Look at the look on my family's face. Calculated calamity, damn it, we managed to plea insanity. The vanity's based on vanity's face.
I think we got enough stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Any last thoughts? Or?
No, only thing I want to say is I want to look at the camera, and when you make it big, put me on. All I want is a slow motion cut in the video, dog. That's all I want. That's all I need.